Indeed, good morning to you and good morning to all of you. Indeed, welcome to a brand new day, a brand new start to a brand new week. Many things are brand new today, and you too. Thanking God for another brand new opportunity to wake up and to make a difference. I always ask a question at the end or the beginning of every week. What did you do with your time? What did you do with your time? And I want you to see the importance of time and how you spend your time. There's a lot more that we all can do. And so this morning, there's an opportunity for you to know how you can spend your time in care and help of someone else. We'll talk to you a little bit more about that story in just a moment. But to those of you watching on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, good morning to all of you. Thank you so very much for making a very special effort to join us. I ask one thing of you every day, and I do so every day. Share the show. Share the show, bring others along to come along and be a part of what we do. We're building a beautiful community and you're a part of it. You're important to it. And I want you to continue to do your important bit, which is to share the show, grow the community. Thank you for doing so. Also, thank you for sharing with us your ideas, your thoughts, your hints, your guidance, indeed, by sending us your emails. Our email address is on your screen. It's morninbarbados@cbc.bb, morninbarbados@cbc.bb, because you know of things, you know of someone who you believe has to be featured on the show. And so when you do so, we are ever grateful because it's a partnership, you and us. And so we thank you for being in partnership with us indeed. Now, today is the 12th of January, 2026. And so, you know, we have the song on the 12 days of Christmas. On the 12th day of that year, my mother gave birth to Joy. Joy, my sister, who marks her birthday today. I shan't give the number, but Joy, to you, from the family and to all of your friends, your children, everyone is wishing you today the best today on your birthday. She brings a joy to our living, indeed. She is one of those organizers and caregivers. She's just wonderful at rallying everyone together. And she bakes my Christmas bread. I'm not embarrassed to say that at all. So to you, Joy, good morning. Happy birthday to you indeed. Coming from the family, continue spreading the joy that you do in your spaces, wherever you go, because she's quite active indeed. And so to Joy Bowen, a very good morning and a very happy birthday to you today. So all the best indeed. Coming up today, we want to take a look at the skin. The skin. I've been talking to you a little bit about this for a little while now, asking you the question, what do you think is your biggest organ? And a knot if you got naughty. But nonetheless, so we'll dispel a lot of that today because we're looking at your biggest organ and your care thereof. And so I have a question for you today. And if you can engage me, please just think about it for a moment and give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's get cracking with this question. The question is, what matters most for healthy skin? Look at your screen. Look. What matters most for healthy skin? What do you think that is? Is it what you put on your skin, like the lotion? You know, there was a time we used to use lard oil and Vaseline and those kinds of things. I don't know if some of you still do, but what matters most for healthy skin? Is it what you put on your skin? Is it the lotion you use, the type of lotion, whether it's fragrant or otherwise? Do you even read the label? So what matters most for healthy skin? Is it what you put on your skin? Could it be what you put in your body? Do you give thought to the diet that you're on and the kind of amount of water you drink or the kinds of beverages that you drink? Is that relevant to a healthy skin? Is it consistency and routine? Is it that every day you wake up and you do this by ritual almost, and therefore that should guarantee you healthy skin? Is it as simple as that? What do you think? Call me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563, or you can write your comment on our Facebook page or YouTube stream, and I'd love to hear from you. Engage with me right now. Or is skincare just not that important to you? And do you think it's only men who might hold that point of view? Or do women also hold that point of view that skincare is, skin is skin, you will get by, you're fine, you'll sweat it off anyway? Is that your position when it comes to healthy skin? What is it that you think matters most for the production of healthy skin? What do you think it is? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Whatever you tell me, we do have a dermatologist here with us this morning who will guide the conversation and who will help us understand what it really truly takes to have a healthy skin. Also this morning, we'll meet a young man who uses sport, who uses his time, who uses interaction with other people to make a big difference. We'll introduce you to him as he tells a story to us this morning. It is also January, and that means it's Drug Awareness Month. And so a couple of drug prevention substance abuse officers will join us this morning as we look at this subject of drug abuse and prevention thereof. Pat Ben, good morning to you as well. Pat says good morning to all of the crew. Good morning to you, Pat, as well. Have a super duper today. Hello to you, Sandy Field-Kelman, our good friend who was on with us last week. Sandy, good morning to you as well. She's wishing all a magnificent week. Back at you. Sweet Rhonda Hines Graham says magnificent Monday morning to everyone. She wants us all to continue to celebrate life. And Rhonda is a celebrant of life. So Rhonda, good morning back to you too. Audrey Harris, good morning to you as well. Have a blessed today and a blessed week as well. Thank you, Audrey. Make it the very best. Bako is watching. He's sending blessings at the start of this brand new week. He's saying good morning to his Morning Barbados family. Bako, thank you. The very same to you as well there in New York. Vereen Walker, good morning. Vereen, how are you doing? She says happy Monday morning to all lot on. And we say the very same to you as well. So call me with your answers. What do you think it is that matters for a healthy skin? It matters most. Bako, good morning to you as well. 48 years now. Seriously, Bako? It's been 48 years now you've been living in the U.S.? Wow. And your mother brought up 5 of you one time and in the country. Not bad. Well done to you and your mother indeed. And only 5? Well, I doubled your number. There were 10 of us. But good morning to you, Bako, as well. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Pat says, I do believe that it is what you put in your body as well as moisturizing consistently. And so, Pat, that's your thought. I wonder if our dermatologist will say the very same. So she thinks that's what's important. Isoline says that what matters most for healthy skin is diet and water. Diet and water. No topical potions, no lotions or anything at all matter most for healthy skin. What about the Bath and Body Works products? Don't those work for you? I don't know. Rhonda says, it's what I eat and drink, the type of lotion I apply to my skin, and plenty water. Does rest factor into a healthy skin? I don't know. I'm just putting things there. You tell me what you think are the things that matter most for a healthy skin, because I'm sure it's not just one thing. It might be a combination of things, or it might very well be that one thing. What do you think that could possibly be, or those could possibly be? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I wonder if a child will weigh in on this, because children have a different point of view of what it takes to have healthy skin because of their own choice in diet. And so what do you think, children, as we get ready for school? Do you have a thought on this? What do you think it matters most for healthy skin? Particularly young girls. Young girls tend to pay attention to the exterior a lot. And so I know a lot of you have thoughts on what you believe will make your skin look pretty. And so what do you think it is? Is looking pretty, having pretty skin, more important than what you put into your skin? And what do you think it takes to have pretty skin, as we tend to call it here in Barbados? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Or is it going to church? I got you good, right? I know, yes, Pearson could not miss the opportunity to talk about church. Yesterday, church was again so good. Yesterday's sermon talked a little bit, reminded us, of the differences and why we should all reach across and make a difference as we minister, because God builds you, He builds the hearer as well, and so we can work together. God prepares the way. Drinking plenty of water. Annette Blackman, do you drink plenty of water? Can I say, Annette, that you have healthy skin, or could you say that you have healthy skin, Annette? Or are you being academic with me? Talk to me straight. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Your comments are also welcome on our Facebook and the YouTube streams as well. It's good to hear from all of you, because we really want to get beneath the surface to see how beneath the surface can make a difference to what we see above the surface when we talk about our skin. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot more to do before the end of the morning this morning. I'm sure a number of you will have seen this being shared on social media about the mother, that little dynamo known as AJ. She is in great need of your help. I want to encourage you, when you see the appeal, not to just scroll over and read her story alone and be fascinated by the story, but to make a contribution to making a difference to Akira Carter. She needs our help. And so we want to be able to amplify that need this morning. So don't miss that when it comes around a little later on our show. It's 11 after 6. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll look at the skin and perhaps see whether or not a lot of what you were sharing were myths or fact with our dermatologist in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So, what matters most for healthy skin? I don't have all the answers. Perhaps you don't, but perhaps you do. And so we're joined by our dermatologist, Dr. Adrian Ford. Dermatologist Adrian Ford, good morning to you.
Andrew.
Andrew, is it?
Yeah, but
I apologize to you,
people seem to think about Adrian Lord and
Yeah.
Andrew Ford, so
I'm
that's all
guilty
right.
of charge as well. But Andrew Ford is with us. And so,
Yeah.
Andrew, I apologize first of all, but Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, same to you, and happy birthday to Joy. I know her; she's all that you said and more.
And more? What more? What more? So tell me, what did I miss? Just teasing you. All right, so we're looking at the skin, and this is a study that you've been on, for a journey you've been on for a long time, so much so you made a profession of it as a dermatologist. I'm looking at your skin, so it's important that what I see, I hear from your mouth as well. Yeah. And so we've been asking the question, what is it that makes for a healthy skin? One of our contributors, Peter Aline, who I know is watching, she says perhaps it's bathing and exfoliating. I'll give you a chance to answer that question in a moment, but what's the skin and why should we treat the skin and take the skin as seriously as we should?
Yeah, well, the skin is the largest organ in the body, as you said, and it covers us, it protects us, it processes all sorts of immunological things. It helps us to absorb vitamin D, sensory functions. It has quite a lot of functions that are important, so we need to take care of it. We start with a certain basis, which is genetic, because your parents give you the skin genetically that you have, and then you have to make the most of it. So a lot of the things that you mentioned are important, but of course, having good skin is a multifaceted thing to solve. And you can go from the simple things like your diet, a healthy diet. The skin consists of growing cells, so if you feed your body the way that it should, with all the macros and micros that you should have, the protein and carbohydrates and water and all those sort of things, then the cells can do well. But over time, your skin is ravaged by the sun, and the sun does things to the skin to destabilize and to also make it age and to make it vulnerable to bad things, cancers and that sort of thing. So of course you have to protect the skin, and that's where using your sunblock and avoiding the sun is very, very important.
We'll take our time and walk through this because I want the people to get it. The skin is important. We should not take the skin for granted. We assume that the skin will always be with us, and therefore the skin will do what the skin should do. And you're saying it is not as simple as that.
No.
The skin needs our help. We still need to do something. Is the skin reflecting what is inside, as in just what I consume alone?
No, the skin... Right. The skin can manifest many diseases, but of course, other than that, the skin has many other things that impact on it. Something as simple as your sleep, being able to get enough sleep at night, reducing stress, because cortisol and all those things tend to make us age faster and destabilize us. So, and your skin care, as you mentioned, taking care of the skin. I know you said Peter Allen wants to exfoliate. So, well, being able to exfoliate depends on the type of skin that you have, if your skin is sensitive. And again, that's genetic. And all the skin conditions and some of the internal conditions can be reflected in the skin as well.
So what we eat is important. So what would you suggest we should eat for sure so that we have healthy skin?
Well, protein is a
basics.
big part of the building blocks of the
So chicken is
of the
good.
skin. Yeah, any protein. There are proteins that are plant
I'm with
and
you.
others. So that's really important. But hydration is important too, as we mentioned. So a balanced diet reflects a very healthy
skin.
body and skin.
So for those who choose either to be vegan or otherwise, now how do they get it right so that they do
Well,
have a
I
healthy
don't
skin?
think if you're vegan, you're not disadvantaged once you can get all the micronutrients that you need, all the vitamins and minerals. So you could choose to be one or the other, but you'll still be able to get to that point that you'd like to be, to have healthy skin.
All right. Internal about body health, the state or disease of body health, it can reflect in the skin. So whatever is going on inside comes to the surface. Am I reading this correctly?
Well, sometimes, like let's say if you have a liver problem and you're jaundiced, then that can be shown in the skin. Some, like Addison's disease, some other conditions can be shown in the skin. So your internal health can be manifested in the skin. And similarly, lots of other diseases, you know about the eczemas and the psoriasis, that can also be manifested in the skin, and some of them, and they're genetic. But you could also encounter and acquire other conditions from the sun and other factors.
Is every skin problem manageable?
Well, to some extent, some, of course, if you start early, anything can be managed. But it depends on the condition, and also if the condition is a threat to life or if it's just something that's a nuisance. And also some are just, transients, while others are chronic. So it depends on the condition that you have and that learning curve as to how to take care of it.
When babies are born, let's start from the infancy for a second. Brand new baby comes home, we wash it well, and then we lather it with a whole host of other topical things. Is there any danger in that at such a young age?
No, well, a baby, the problem with a baby is a large surface area to volume ratio and really losing heat and that sort of thing. But most baby products are very gentle products, so they're hypoallergenic, they're fragrance-free, they're also free of dyes. So for a baby, you just want to keep the baby warm, you want to keep the baby moisturized. Also, there's an exfoliation that's going on when after the baby is born. That initial skin will be changed, and our skin is constantly evolving, and all the layers from the bottom come up to the top and form a protein protective layer on our skin. So that baby is gently maintained and well covered.
But sometimes some of the topical things we use can create whether it's an allergic reaction or not. And that's when the skin is we have to really seriously look at the skin, like powders and the like.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to be aware of the type of skin that you have. Your skin can be normal, it can be dry, it can be sensitive, it can be oily, and your product should reflect the type of skin that you have. Of course, if you have sensitive skin, it will not be robust enough to deal with exfoliants or peeling products, or let's say even vitamin A product, retinoids, which are used a lot for anti-aging. So you have to give your skin what it needs. If it's dry, then you have to moisturize, and you may need humectants and other things to drive moisture into the skin. So after learning what the skin type that you have, you then have to act accordingly to keep it from being irritated. You don't want to cause irritation or harm. If you cause harm or irritation, then you can have discoloration or dyspigmentation. So especially in the black skin, almost every insult to the skin causes a darkening, which is something we don't want to happen.
The same way we want to know our blood type and the like, should we know, is it important to the individual as they grow to know their skin type?
Yes, definitely, most predominantly for the face and with especially in the female gender, the makeup and the other things that they use, that's of importance to them. But also the skin itself. If you have sensitive skin and you're prone to eczema, then knowing the type of skin you have, you would know the type of moisturizers you should use, and also if you can use the exfoliants that Peter Allen mentioned. So knowing the type of skin that you have and being aware of your skin conditions will drive what you do. with your skin.
You like this exfoliant thing. You keep mentioning
Well,
it. What do
not personally.
Okay, oh, really? So tell me, what's positive and what's not positive about exfoliants?
Well, you can refresh the skin and get rid of those proteinaceous layers that and make it look better. So that's the good part. So that can help with anti-aging. Of course, if you have a sensitive skin diathesis, then removing too many of the layers can cause problems or can cause irritation or can trigger things, because in some skin conditions, trauma can potentiate or make the condition worse. So it is useful for someone who is able to tolerate it, and it can make your skin look better, especially on the face. That's the part of the body most people will see.
See, pride can go before a fall at times, so be very, very careful with the exfoliants indeed. But when you exfoliate, should you then use something else at the end of that particular process of exfoliation?
Well, you always have to moisturize.
Right.
That's very
always
important.
has to moisturize?
Yes, especially if your skin is dry. In these routines that people will look at, you cleanse the skin, you put on the medication that you have to apply, but moisturizing and using a sunblock, very important. So if you're exfoliating, that may be the part you do after or as you bathe, but you still have to moisturize and put on your sunblock at the end.
The boy child does like this moisturizing talk. So we'll talk about that for the boy child's sake in just a moment, right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 past the hour, we're looking at what matters most for healthy skin with our dermatologist, Dr. Andrew Ford. And so he's with us for this morning as we look at this very important subject, since it's the one vessel we have called our skin. I don't know, in the absence of anything dangerous, this is what we have to live with for the rest of our life, but we have to take care of it. So Dr. Ford, before we took the break, we were talking about moisturizing, and we know this is one of those things that most boy children, males, tend to not want to do. They figure it's female actions. Let's talk about the value of moisturizing the skin, and for everybody.
Yeah, well, guys are kind of, not as interested in this as women are. But, I mean, the skin doesn't understand the sexual division. So we should encourage it. It is important. And for the general health of the skin, it's something we have to do to keep the integrity of the skin. And we all want to look as youthful and as healthy as possible. So that's a big, big part. Cleansing and moisturizing are the basics and protection of the skin. So
you talked about
tell the guys to do it.
Yeah, fellas, we have to moisturize from head to toe. Head to toe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The integrity of the skin. When you say that, what do you mean?
Well, the skin can absorb and be porous, but you want the skin to do its protective function. And to be able to do that, it can't be really inflamed. It can't be making too much of one layer versus the other. And we also want the genetics of the skin or the DNA of the skin to be intact, because if it isn't intact and it gets affected, then that's when you get the precancers and cancers. But people with skin conditions need to do things to prevent an occurrence of the condition. We mentioned eczema a lot. That's something that people can identify with. And like if you or let's say melasma, a condition that makes you get darkening of the skin, you have to protect it with the ultraviolet protection and the sunblocks, that sort of thing. So if you want your skin to look good, then you have to do what's necessary.
Every sunblock is not the sunblock for you. How do we know which sunblock is for us?
Well, there's sunscreens and sunblocks. Some are physical, some are chemical. You know, lots of things can irritate the skin because there are additives there. So if you are using a new product, sometimes you can do a little test spot. You can put it on the inner part of the arm, or you can put it on the neck, make sure it doesn't cause any redness or any irritation. But the basic principle is that you should use at least a factor 30 or above. And you also want to, for the women, you have to look at if it has a tint or not, because you may not want to make it so obvious that you have something on. But it's the texture, it's the additives, and if your skin is sensitive, you go a minimalist approach. But the important thing is that you have a high protective factor. But the physical blocks show on the skin and are not, you know, cosmetically or aesthetically as pleasing, because they leave a film that you can see. But you should test and see, but keep as high a protective factor as possible.
One of the things that we don't like to see is acne. And there are people who are watching now who are going through puberty, where acne seems to have a very active role to play in that process. Talk to me about management of acne, what causes acne, and why it's important that we do have a regime to manage it.
Yeah, acne involves the unit of the hair and its glands, and it's really an occlusive pathology that's made worse by bacteria. So genetically you can be predisposed to acne, or sometimes your diet, if you eat lots of fructose or sugars or chocolates, that can make it worse. Or if you put lots of occlusive heavy things or stuff from your hair gets on the face. So, or if you keep your makeup on and sleep in it at night, different things like that. So the management of acne is general, which has to do with being healthy, having a good diet, having a good skincare routine that we would have mentioned earlier, and then also it's specific, which is medical. So from the medical standpoint, there are topicals that really exfoliate. So you have your retinoids, which are the vitamin A based things. There's benzoyl peroxide, which exfoliates and kills bacteria. And there's also antibiotics. So if your acne is mild and just confined to the face, you can use a topical. If it's more severe with bigger bumps and pustules and cysts, then you may need something oral. And then in that case, the general thing is antibiotics for a few months. Or you may, if you're female, you may be on a diuretic that has an anti-androgen in it, or you may go on a certain contraceptive. And of course, there's the gold standard medical treatment for acne, which is Roaccutane for very bad acne. But there are also mechanical or physical things. You can do dermabrasions, peels, light treatments. There are many different things, and also surgical. So you can do extractions, you can do incisions, subcisions, injections. So there are lots of treatments for acne. Yeah.
Some would have thought that acne is a rite of passage. I use the puberty period for a reason, because in the puberty period I went through a burst of acne. But following that, it never flared up again, thank you Jesus. And so let's talk a little bit, is it genetic? Is it for a period of time, and can acne be for your rest of your life?
Yeah, well, it varies. As you said, there's another multifactorial situation where genetically that plays a part. But if you do things that predispose to acne, especially in our humid environments, it can be long-lasting, or it can come on, you know, because of something that you did. But the important thing with acne is that in most cases it is, as you say, time limited, a limited thing. So you may have it during the teenage years and it may go away, but also there are individuals who can have acne. I've had patients that I've treated and cured their acne in their mid-50s, but it was something they were you know, battling with for a long period. So it really depends on you. It depends on even your medication. Let's say you're an asthmatic, you have to take a oral steroid. That can potentiate and cause acne, and there are many conditions that are managed with oral steroids, so that can also be a reason why you have acne. But you don't necessarily have to have it. It can be treated, and there are many modalities out there that can be used to get rid of it.
It can be treated, and there are many modalities out there that can be used to treat it. I'm using your words back because I want folks to hear it. All right. And so caring of the skin requires us to drink lots of more water, right?
Yeah.
Eat healthier. Make sure we have a good, healthy consumption of proteins. You said that to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
protein builds
just my
everything.
check marks if I'm
Collagen,
going
you know,
right.
the collagen, elastin, they're proteinaceous, and you know the
Proteinaceous.
yeah, but also you know lots of peptides are used on the skin. So now they're using smaller building blocks of proteins, and they put it into the surface to try to build up the infrastructure of the skin, and also consuming collagen. That's something that may be a bit controversial, but still, you know, there are lots of supplements that try to make that protein base a bit better.
None of us likes to sweat. Well, except for a sports person, I suppose. How do you manage that with the kind of skin you have, and especially these hot conditions when we feel as though there's a lot of water being lost, but somehow we're not putting it back in adequate, and what damage could that put to the skin?
Well, the most common skin condition you'll get from sweating will be what Bajans would call a heat rash. But certainly controlling your body temperature is important. The body tries to do that, something you call homeostasis. We try to keep everything at an equilibrium. So the external environment, you have to wear the clothing that would help your skin to breathe. You have to, you know, consider using wet compresses. We have air conditioning, all sorts of things to manage that. But, you know, the important thing is that we don't let it get to an extreme, because if you do, then you're going to have manifestations of sweating, which we wouldn't want to have. So, you know, Pearson, if you are a sportsman and you are going to sweat, the important thing is that you're able to cool down after. We did mention about the, you know, hydration. You don't want to get heat stroke, or you know, you don't want to have a bad
Flare up.
You know.
That's so important indeed. And the thing is,
Or become
all of this,
dehydrated, you know, that's a big thing.
a lot of this happens at any age and any stage because there are children who have this problem with their skin, as well as a consequence of the lack of hydration, as well as the adult. There are children who need their bodies to be constantly moisturized, as well as the adult. And as Dr. Ford said to us, you know, it's a lifelong process. We should be doing it every day.
Doing what every day?
Moisturizing.
Yeah.
Every day. Every day. Fellas, you got to moisturize.
And don't forget to
every day.
cleanse. You should be bathing every day and
You got to
washing your
bathe.
skin.
So bathe and moisturize. Let it go hand in hand. Bathe and moisturize.
In some cultures, that doesn't happen.
That's true. Your life still. But nonetheless, it's important that in this culture we bathe and moisturize. And so we want to encourage you today, if you want a healthy skin, consider what you eat. Get to know your skin type. It's so vital indeed, not to be caught off guard, but simply to be ahead of the game before anything should happen. And so we want to encourage you today to take the advice from Dr. Andrew Ford about what we need to do to ensure that day by day, moment by moment, as long as we live with the healthiest skin possible. It's what we have, and it's our largest organ, and we're called upon to take good care of it indeed. Dr. Ford, thank you as always.
Yeah, thank you as well.
You're very welcome. We are back with more on Morning Barbados in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories, and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Schooled, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are
Good morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 23 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. I asked him his age for a reason, because he's 26 years old. And I was asking that because I wanted to see, at 26 years old, what was I doing? How much was my impact on the world? Have you asked yourself that question? Do you feel as though time has slipped away from you? And I keep asking, what did you do with your time? And did you feel as though you would have wasted time? I don't think you have, but this man has definitely done a lot with the little time he's already spent here on earth. His name is Tahir Bulbulia. He's a sports enthusiast, he's a sportsman, but he's also one who's interested in making a difference in people's lives. Tahir, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Do you feel old at 26?
Yeah, I definitely feel old some days.
What causes that feeling some days for you?
Honestly, I always say age is a mindset, but you know, you're getting a lot more tired now. And as a dad now, you have a bigger responsibility, not just to your son and your family, but also to the community that you serve and the people that you face. So the work never cuts out. It always keeps you going, but the small wins and the small mercies that God provides you with keeps you motivated and keeps you moving forward at all times.
It never cuts out, but what made it cut in for you? What was it that started you on this journey of the life known as Tahir Bulbulia?
So going back to school, I really struggled in school. A lot of people look at me now and say, you know, you're very successful. I struggled academically, but sports was always it for me. Whether on the field, cricket, playing football, or just watching sports or learning about stats or anything like that, sports was it for me. So the education system was not catered for me. In my style of learning, unfortunately, but the teachers at foundation school and at my primary school made it very easy for me to navigate, but I still struggled to pass subjects. So that kind of motivated me as I move forward, and some life decisions that I made, seeing how hard it is for other people out there. Thankfully, I've come from a good family where they've been supportive of me, but a lot of people don't have that support. So then they go to spaces where they're supported and where they're loved, and oftentimes that space is not one that is beneficial for their holistic development. So for me, just trying to help other young people along who may not have that support and be a supportive figure for them, that is where then it motivated me, knowing the struggles I went through within the education system, through navigating my teenage life into adulthood. I know the struggles. The struggles were extremely coming from every direction. So just being that supportive figure was one of the motivating factors for me, and just making a positive impact in people's lives.
There are others like you who would say, but I had teachers who inspired me too. I struggled at school as well, but I don't want to do what you do. I could just fold my arms and carry on and say, well, you work your own journey out. But you decided, no, I want to help someone else with their journey. Do you remember the day you felt that way?
The day that I felt that it was a process leading up, because I was making certain decisions that were not the right ones, and I was always saying, I want to make a change. I want to make a change. And every day I would say, I can start on this day. I can do this differently. But then I was still in that mold of making the same things, expecting support from people that will not support you, expecting certain help and guidance. But the fact is that you got to take responsibility in your own life. So I would always say that it was a journey, and then certain things happened around me. So I started to make shifts in my life, in my personal life, but the decisions that I made previously came back to me because people were still judging me on that past person that I was. So in that transition, I had to accept that I made certain decisions that affected other people previously. and accept the consequences that came with those decisions and just continue to improve. Because people can try to pull you down, people can try to judge you, people can try to hold you in that mold. But the fact is that you got to take responsibility of your own life and chart that path forward. And then once you chart that path forward, you can bring along others on that. And I would go back to 2018. It kind of put my life in perspective. It's a very crazy story. But I was playing football and I got knocked out. Whoa. Concussion. And seeing the people that were around me at that point in time, post the concussion period, you know, that's a very tough period after you're going through mood swings, depression, you're going through all types of stuff. And the people that were around me then, it showed me that a lot of people ain't really there. They like to be around you for specific reasons, but nobody really checking in on you. Nobody really making sure you're all right. Very, very few people besides your family and your very close circle. So that kind of put my life into perspective, put my brain back into place and pushing me into the right direction. So those next few months was really, really tough after I got knocked out February 2018. And those, I would say that next year was a real transitionary year for me, where it showed me who was there for me and what I have to do and what's important in life.
Well, what's important in life? I like the story. And I think for a lot of people, that wake-up call happens in a very different way, but for yours, it was medically significant.
Yeah.
And as I was listening to you just now, I kept thinking how much of Tahir's trajectory through life came from the sport of cricket.
Yeah.
Because cricket is a team sport, but cricket is also an individual sport. For the moment while you're out there on the middle, it's your game that you have to play, though you're playing for the team.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the practice of cricket and how the practice of cricket you use in your everyday life.
So cricket is life. Cricket is life. I was a decent cricketer, not the best, but I played amongst some very, very good young cricketers who have gone on to play for West Indies and England and international cricket. And I say cricket teaches you so much about life. From you fail one day, but the next day you got to get back up. And that's how life is. So you could score 0 today off of one ball, drop a catch and lose the game. But the fact is that when you come tomorrow, you still have to continue to perform. So tomorrow could be your day. And that's how life is as well. You fall short today, but then tomorrow you still have to pick back at yourself and continue to progress. And that's what cricket is all about. And then the fact is that you're operating in a team. You're operating amongst your peers. And the fact is that it can't just be about you. Life can't just be about you. Similarly, cricket can't just be about you. So you have your role, Pearson. I have my role. The wicketkeeper has their role. Everybody has their role in a team. And if you perform your role to the best of your ability, the team does better. And similarly in life, if you perform your role as best as you can for Barbados, for the development of Barbados, each of us as individuals doing that with that at the back of our mind, at the front of our mind, I should say, then we can see Barbados really developing. And sports teaches a lot about that. And the statistics show that young people who perform in sports and play sports have a better sense of national identity, have a better sense of where they're going, have a better sense of understanding the self a lot better.
Were you better batsman or bowler?
I would say I was a better batsman.
Good. As a batsman, however, you know that yes, you're playing, you're ready, you've padded up and you're marking your wicket. But there's a man coming at you with a ball. It's not a soft ball, it's a hard ball. Look at that within the perspective of life's challenges and how one looks and faces down one's challenges to succeed.
You got to face your challenges head on. So just as you standing up to bat and face that ball, you got to face your challenges head on. A lot of people like to run from challenge. But the fact is that we have to face our challenges, and that's the only way we're going to succeed. All of us go through challenges. So there's nobody in life that can ever say that they don't have a challenge, you know? Everybody. So how can we now face our challenges and equip people, train the mindset to encourage people to face their challenges and overcome their challenges and overcome their fears? And that's what cricket is all about and what sports is all about.
People are different. People have different values and people see life differently from us at most times anyway. But you still have to persist.
Correct.
What keeps you ticking enough to say, I'm going to break this nut? I'm going to get into that head and try to make the difference I want to. I'm not giving up.
So it's hard. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not difficult. It is extremely difficult because shifting mindsets, shifting culture, shifting what people see as motivation for them is extremely, extremely hard. But the fact is that you, as you say, you have to be persistent and stick with people. And I find oftentimes we have to understand where people are at, work with people, meet people at their level, and then bring them up. And the fact is that there's 3 types of people in life. There's people that are going to understand it straight away, people that will get it eventually, and then unfortunately, there's some that will never get it. That's just a sad state. Oftentimes we focus heavily on number 1 and 2, the person who's going to get it straight away and the person who's going to get it eventually. But they're fine in my opinion. If we could focus a lot more on the 2 and 3, the people who will get it eventually and the persons who will never get it, then that could say a lot for our society. And that's where we have to start. We have to start with those persons who need it the most and continue to progress and be persistent with them.
That's Tahir's view. But what else consumes Tahir? What other views does he have? We'll talk to him a little bit more about that right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 11 minutes to go to 7 o'clock. Tahir Bulbulia is with us. He is, a sportsman. He's 26 years old. He's a father. He has a very broad global view. And don't you want to know what that global view is? Tahir is with us. So Tahir, again, what's that broad global view that you have? How exciting are you about the future?
I'm very excited about the future. Some people fear the future, but I'm excited for what the future has in store. And the future is if you have to make your future today. Some people wait till tomorrow to start, but the fact is that you got to start today. And I know many people see my trajectory as entering politics and being involved in politics, and people saying, well, that's not the path for you, and that's not the way for you. Or some people say, well, this should be your trajectory. But the fact is that you got to determine what your trajectory is. And Pearson, to all those out there, I would just confirm I'm not running in the upcoming election. So contrary to popular belief, and people are suggesting that, but not at this stage of my career. It's always about impact. And wherever positive impact takes you, and that is where you have to go. And really and truly start building your future from today. Start setting your goals, sitting down, having conversations with yourself and your loved ones, and take it from there, All
right. So the news is Tahir is not running in this year's, the next election, general election. Indeed, that's 1. 2, is it possible that elective politics will be part of your future?
Elective politics, I have always loved politics. Let's make that clear, I've always loved politics. But my focus has always been positive impact of people. And wherever that takes me, that is where I will go.
Good answer. So if it's in the realm of politics, so be it, indeed. Let's look, give me your view of CARICOM today and what concerns you about CARICOM tomorrow.
So CARICOM has traditionally held its position as developing policy for the region, developing frameworks for the region. And that is one of the transformations that we have to go through, how governments function, how entities work, and really adapt itself to the 2026 world. The world has changed rapidly. We see how it's functioning today. We see how the challenges that the world is going through today. So how can we now shift our mindsets to the way we govern, to the way we develop policy, to the way we interact with people. And if people are at the forefront of our minds and the forefront of our development, are supposed to be at the forefront of our development, then we have to interact with people and hear people's concerns and address those concerns of the people that we face in the region. If we see a lot of the policies that they're taking. For example, for a very long time, the people of the Caribbean have been asking for better access to work across the region. CARICOM took that step to implement that for Barbados, Belize, St. Vincent. Why can't all the rest of the Caribbean countries jump onto an initiative like that where no persons from their country can access opportunities and jobs from other countries? That is something where we have to go, and I think we have to be more united. And just as West Indies cricket team unites the region, CARICOM should see themselves as that entity that unites the region and brings the region together, putting people at the forefront of its development. Because the fact is, as we saw what happened in Venezuela, as we see what's happening in Gaza, as we see what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, and know what's happening in Iran, what's happening in the US, nobody is focusing on the Caribbean. But no, the fact is that the Caribbean is in turmoil right now with all the challenges that we're facing. So we have to remain together, and if CARICOM cannot remain together on something as very simple as a freedom of movement in terms of work, imagine what the bigger issues, concerns of the people.
The people are also races, different cultures, different understandings. What's your view of Barbados today and as it relates to race relations?
I will always say,
or is there not a problem?
I will always say Barbados has always been open and free of dialogue and accepting people. I'm a Muslim. My grandfather, my grandfather from both sides of my mother and father came from India back in the 40s and the 50s, and they came here to be better, to make their life better. And what they did was they was accepted into the Barbadian community, and they were able to grow themselves, grow a family, come here and see themselves as Barbados as a place to grow. What's happening now is that we're going through a shift in our culture. So cultures that have been previously natural to so many Barbadians are now being shifted. So now how do we continue to grow? But in terms of race relations in this country, Barbados is an example for the world. Barbados, for me, is an example. I have never faced racism. And not to say that there's no Muslim or other person of another race who has not faced racism in Barbados. I would say it's very, very minor. It's very minor in its approach. But we have to continue to build these relations. So for me, people are often surprised when they see me sit in certain positions, go on the radio, see me in different communities, see me speaking on national topics. But the fact is that I'm a born and bred Barbadian. Grew up in Barbados, come through our school system, eat cuckoo and fish, call this song more Bajan than a lot of Bajans out there. And I remember when I was on a radio program, a man told me that my Bajan accent sound fake. And I was like, boss. And I was like, but that's how he socialized. His interaction with a Muslim or an Indian has just been through business. Through the coolie man business, which has served many, many Barbadians. But the fact is that there are many other younger Barbadians now taking up spaces in areas which they have not been seen before. And that will continue. And that's testament of how the Barbadian society is. The Barbadian society is one where you can come, you can grow, you can fit in, and you can make a living for yourself and contribute to the development of your country.
The readiness of those young people of whom you spoke just a moment ago. Let's talk a little bit about what do you think needs to be done so that they are equipped, one, and provided opportunity to be.
So I would always say it starts from within the education system. We have to really transform the education system to really meet the needs of the 2026 world. As I said previously, the world is rapidly changing, and if we do not equip our students and our young people with the necessary knowledge, skills, mindsets to be able to grow and function, that is where we're going to continue to face our challenge. So if it's one thing that we focus on is shifting that education system where it is more inclusive in terms of its approaches to learning, more inclusive to acceptance of culture, art, sports as a way out, because there's many people who cannot even read, but they're the most talented cricketers, the most talented footballers, the best artists. But true and true, does our education system cater to them? Not at this point in time. I know they're making strides to get that done. the education transformation is critical. But how now do we now work with these younger people and build out a way forward for them in this 2026 world?
Jobs are being challenged. Today's jobs are being challenged by technology and the like. Young people are part of that, that change. Yeah, you smile because you know where I'm going with this one. So what's your answer?
AI is here to complement you. You can't be dependent on AI. And young people going on ChatGPT to do their homework and to do everything. But you have to be creative. And creatives will always be able to function. Sports people will always be able to function. So if you are dependent solely on AI, you can struggle. AI is here to complement the work that you do. AI can't be here to take over anything that you do. And jobs are being threatened. But who has to manage that technology?
That's right. Absolutely right. If you're ready for me to respond, you're right. In that one. Look at the young men today, because there's a lot of conversation in communities today about the behavior of young men. Does that concern you? And if so, what would you recommend?
It's very, very concerning. But we have to understand the deep level nature of the issue that we face, where we have broken families, we have broken parents, we have broken homes, we have broken communities, we have broken systems in some instances. So our young men especially are now not familiar with dealing with conflict. And there's a lack of opportunity for some of them. But equally, as I said previously, it's a personal decision that you make. You could either put your energy to doing something positive or something negative. So how do we get to these young people? How do we get not just to these young people, but these persons involved in crime, on the wrong side of society? How do we get to them, get into their minds, and try to help them, show them that there's hope? I feel a lot of them believe that there's no hope, and help them to show them that there's a different life. There's a different path that you could go upon, and work with them. Not just write them off. Those are the persons that have been written off from school in some instances. Yeah. So how now do we reach them and tell them, this is a way out for you. There is hope for you. There is opportunity for you. There can be a way forward for you to do positive things that influence people positively. And it starts from young. It has to start from within the home. Parenting is key. It starts from a young age. So you can't expect when your child get to 13 that you know want to discipline them, or when they get 8 that you know God discipline them. I always say it starts from even from within the womb.
And we brought you back full circle. Yeah. We started talking about your childhood and education challenges and how you've become today, and how you're challenging the young men today to take note of your trajectory to help them. Very quickly, very briefly, your father is, of the billions of Muslims around the world, one of the most influential. Does that inspire you?
Most definitely. My father has always been an inspiration for me. His work has always been rooted in community, and he has taught me so much. Very indirectly. He's not a person that's going to come and tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that. He's going to show by his actions, and I expect to follow to suit. And that recognition for him is very, very big, and that is testament to his work. So I really want to thank him and thank my mother, thank my family, my wife who was there supporting me all along the way. You know, being in this position is not easy, but you always have a home to come back to and where they mold you and things.
Do you feel you're in your father's shadow, and do you think your son will feel the same way about you?
I don't think I'm in my father's shadow. My father is a motivation. He has run he's done his work, and now we gotta continue and carry on the baton forward, and then my son will take the baton. So it's a relay. If you look in the shadow, you're looking back. You understand? So we moving forward with the baton. Everybody run the leg in the relay, and if you run it to your best, you win the race, and everybody succeeds.
It's a three-legged race run by the Tahir Bulbuli family, indeed. But thank you so very much for joining us, and best of luck for you in your future.
Thank you so very much, and thank you, Tisha. Thank you, Pearson. Thank you, everybody, for inviting me. CBC family is always welcoming.
Very welcome. Tahir Bulbuli with us this morning, sharing with inspiration from his trajectory through life, what he's come from, where he is now, and what's for the future, and his son included in all of that as well. Mornin Barbados is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount. Sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
In a look at the news now, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's Accident and Emergency Department is battling with what the officials describe as one of the most significant flu outbreaks in recent history. As a result, the department remains under intense pressure with no ease in the surge of patients seeking care. Communications specialist Shane Seeley says in addition to the major influenza outbreak, doctors and nurses have to deal with a steady flow of trauma cases and post-holiday complications linked to non-communicable diseases. Compounding that challenge is that some of the staff have also been affected by the flu. Despite the hospital's efforts, this situation has resulted in longer waits in the accident and emergency department.
While the AED has been able to respond effectively to the recent influx of trauma cases, this has contributed to a buildup of other patients awaiting assessment and treatment, resulting in extended waiting times. Demand for emergency services continues to rise. While some members of our clinical staff have also been affected during this wave of influenza and have reported sick, please be assured that our accident and emergency department teams continue to work around the clock to meet the increased demand and to ensure that patients receive care based on clinical urgency. We urge the public to please pay attention to the official updates from the QEH on the current situation in the accident and emergency department as we manage this sustained and increased demand for emergency care.
Mr. Seeley also said life-threatening and critical conditions will continue to receive immediate care in line with the AED's triage system. Patients with less urgent conditions should expect longer delays. The QEH is also urging anyone unsure about whether they should attend to contact the Patient Advice and Liaison Service on 536-4800. That service is available via regular calling or WhatsApp. Rehabilitation alone is not enough to keep drug abusers from returning to substance abuse. That's the view of Minister of Home Affairs and Information, Wilfred Abrams. Speaking at the NCSA's Drug Awareness Church service at First Baptist Church yesterday, the minister said there must be a clear next step after rehabilitation to help prevent relapse. He challenged the congregation to commit to supporting at least one person who has completed rehabilitation. The minister said while it is commendable that individuals have done the work to get healthy, a holistic approach is needed to successfully reintegrate them into society.
It is not just treatment that we have to focus on. It is not just rehabilitation we have to focus on. We have to commit to opening our arms, recognizing the efforts of the brave persons who said, I have a problem, and sought help and overcame their problem. We have to welcome them back. The Bible talks about the prodigal son. We have to open our arms and welcome them back. Otherwise, it would have all been in vain.
Minister Abrams also called on the church to help create safe spaces for substance abuse patients. He noted that the forgiveness is a core pillar of the church and it can work alongside society and other stakeholders to foster positive behaviors among those recovering from substance abuse.
The basic tenet of the Church of God is forgiveness and acceptance. We need to create these safe spaces in the church for persons to come and find support and solace. You never know, your most committed congregant in the next 2 or 3 years might be somebody that you gave a chance to, and you welcomed them and said, child of God, we are here for you.
City of Bridgetown Member of Parliament Corey Lane is stepping aside. He announced that he will not seek re-election at the next general election whenever it is called. He offered no reason for his decision. In a statement released at the weekend, Mr. Lane said the decision followed long reflection. He said it was a difficult one, describing his service to the city as the greatest honour of his life. The MP, who has represented the constituency since 2018, expressed confidence in the Prime Minister and the party's Bridgetown branch to select a capable successor. Mr. Lane has stressed that while he is stepping away from electoral politics, he is not stepping away from service. He said he remains ready to continue his life's work of assisting the nation in the best way that he can. Barbadians whose names were removed from the electors list can apply to have them reinstated. That assurance from the chairman of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Ramon Aline. He explains that under the law, an elector can only be removed in cases of death, a successful objection, or if the person has been absent from Barbados for more than 5 years. Mr. Aline says the regulations require a deletion list to be published and posted, and he notes that the Commission published that notice twice, giving the public 4 weeks to review the list and make corrections. However, he says eligible people who are removed can still get back on the list.
Today, even after the notice period has passed, people can still make applications to be placed on the voter register if they have been erroneously removed. And this will remain the case even after an election has been called for a specified period of time. Now, let me emphasize that every person who has the right to be on our voters register will be placed on the voters register once they have made the normal application. And this can occur today. It can occur tomorrow. There's no limitation. And let me repeat again, even after an election is called, persons can still come in and say, I have checked your website, I realize that my name is not where it should be. Please take my form and be placed on our register of voters. There is no existing limitation.
Government has started serving notice to property owners who do not maintain their lots as required by law. That's according to the Minister of the Environment and National Beautification, Adrian Ford, who says authorities are cracking down on anyone who does not comply with the Health Services Act.
With the help of the Solicitor General, we are at the stage of serving notice to persons who run afoul of this law. Persons who leave their lots, their plots, in a disused state, in a derelict state. Because all of us believe in Barbados, that Barbados does not belong to someone living in the troposphere. It belongs to each one of us who are living in this 160 square miles. And we believe that we have a responsibility to take care of our environment. That is our belief. And that is why the legislation, unfortunately, we had to bring legislation to achieve this.
Minister Ford says Barbadians must play their part as good stewards by ensuring unused and overgrown properties are kept clean, and he's warning property owners who have received notices to take immediate action to get their properties in order.
To those persons who have received notice so far, I am telling them and giving them an early warning, a New Year's warning, go and do the remedial work on your land plots. Go and do what is necessary to ameliorate that which you have called a foul in terms of the law. Go and do that which is necessary to ensure that you bring back a beautiful, clean, and safe environment so that neighbors can enjoy the spaces that are open, so that we can have a situation where they have threats of dengue, leptospirosis, and all those things associated with disuse laws, so that those things will not be the order of the day as far as it relates to Barbados.
Let's look at sports. Now. 14 participants successfully completed the Rise and Reign Coaches course and are now better equipped to train local cricketers. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
The unique initiative started 5 months ago and is a pilot project to help enhance the level of coaching in Barbados. Over the course of several weeks, the 14 participants completed in-person and online sessions and proudly collected their awards. Delivering the featured address, sports administrator and former national athlete Utania Wiggins encouraged the coaches to have a more intentional approach, especially towards female athletes.
Girls don't need different standards. Don't do it. That's when we get moody. We better treat we lady back. We don't need less accountability. But coaches who understand, and this is important, we need coaches that understand confidence for females must come before risk taking. When you make the environment confident, you'll be surprised the athlete you have. We also need to understand that trust must come before toughness.
Mental health expert Dr. Janelle Chase Mears encouraged the coaches to focus on improving athletes holistically.
Before we go further, I'm calling on all of you coaches and individuals in here for a fundamental shift in your thinking and your purpose. For decades, the old guard of coaching viewed the athlete as a machine. You oil the gears with technique and you fuel the engine with fitness. But machines don't feel fear. Machines don't lose confidence when their parents are watching from the stands. Machines don't have off days because of a mental block. We must shift our purpose from training players to developing people. If you only coach the player, your influence ends at the boundary rope. But if you coach the person, your influence lasts a lifetime.
Mikia Marshall, one of the participants, shared his overview of the project.
Throughout the sessions, I felt genuinely empowered with knowledge, new perspectives, and confidence. This experience reaffirmed for me that with the right guidance, collaboration, and mindsets, there is no limit to what we can achieve in the sporting realm and beyond. The way each topic was delivered, along with the post-session recap and perspective-changing questions from Tahir, has given me the self-belief that I can have a positive impact on sport, not only in Barbados, but the wider world.
The Rise and Reign course is supported by the Ministry of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Supernova Lab, UNICEF, the Barbados Royals, and the University of the West Indies. Anmar Goodrich Voice, CBC Sports.
And that's our news until now. We'll have more news coming up at 12 noon right here on CBC TV8. Morning Barbados is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Morning Barbados news is brought to you by Jordan Supermarkets Spend and Eat 2025 competition.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray microbiome probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists. Good morning. Good morning to you.
15 and a half minutes now after 7 o'clock. This is January. This is also proudly stated as Drug Awareness Month. And so that's what we're focusing on right now. Just not Drug Awareness Month, but strengthening prevention, which is the theme for the month as well. We're joined this morning by a couple substance abuse prevention officers, Paulavette Atkinson, who we know so well. Such a familiar face, Paulavette. You're aged and tall. Good morning.
Thank you, and good morning, Barbados.
Good to see you as always. And you brought along with you this morning Jennifer, I'll say Baptiste.
Thank you, and good morning. Baptiste.
Yes. Jennifer Baptiste, and from the NCSA. Good morning again, ladies. And so let's talk a little bit about this, Paulavette, because it concerns our community.
It does.
And we saw The Rock and Hard Place, the documentary, which shocked a lot of people, but it brought into stark reality. They live and walk among us. We walk by and we don't see them, but they have a story to tell. And sometimes they only got there because we didn't pay attention.
That's right. Substance abuse affects everyone. And it's not just the user, but certainly the family, the community, the workplace. So we all have to be educated and to know really and truly, what can I do? What is the part that I can play in relation to either helping to prevent someone, a loved one, a child, helping a colleague at work, or being involved in such a way that we can recognize that, you know, there are certain signs and symptoms, and where possible, we can be our brother's keeper.
This morning we started with a question: how do we ensure we have a healthy skin? Can one look at the skin and tell whether or not an individual is abusing substances?
Yes, you can.
I know you're not medical, but go ahead, tell me.
Yes, but certainly alcohol, for example, which is historically entrenched in our Barbadian society, it is a substance that can cause problems. And certainly in terms of the skin, especially as ladies who, as Pastor Leacock was saying yesterday, your face is your passport to the world. And in terms of the skin, dryness of the skin, enlarging pores, sometimes you can actually smell. In the case of someone who is abusing alcohol, vapors which emit from the skin. So things as simple as that, knowing the signs. So similarly with substance use, it's about understanding those early signs and symptoms and really taking a look at what is happening with this individual in terms of their parents, even their deportment. Those are early signs that show that something is not quite right. You know, you've gone off kilter, and the person's not taking care of themselves, whether it's their skin, their parents. You know, even in terms of work, you can see signs amongst your colleagues in terms of not only behaviors, but making mistakes, very simple mistakes on random tasks that, you know, you would normally do. And also interaction. Is there a change in attitude, the way how people engage with you in the regular forum? Has that changed? You know, is there aggression? Is there, as I said, an attitude, mood swings that are not, you know, you can't reasonably understand what is happening? So these are some of the signs that we can certainly identify in relation to substance use as well.
I want to look at the teenage for just a moment because, again, puberty changes a lot of people's attitudes. As they grow up, they grow quiet before they become loud again. So that period of quiet oftentimes causes disquiet for a parent who is concerned about how this child has suddenly become a little bit of a monster. The thing that I gave birth to, I don't know, I no longer recognize. Within all of that, so we don't make assumptions, what are some of the things that we need to be mindful of when the child goes quiet?
Okay, so being an adolescent in itself, that is a very stressful adolescent developmental stage. And during that time, children like to do a lot of experimenting. They're trying to become adults, they're trying to learn themselves, they're becoming more independent. And with that, they like to experiment. They like to take a lot of risks. That's part of being an adolescent. And they may also experiment with drug use. So parents need to know and be aware that at this stage, children may seem kind of rebellious, but it's that they're testing their independence. They would have grown up in homes where they're told, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and it's based on the socialization within the household. Now they're testing that. I want to become independent. I want to experiment. Mommy said don't do this, but I want to know how it feels, and I want to go out there and be my own man and woman. But it's a very fragile stage because the part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, has not developed, and sometimes they make a lot of mistakes in judgment, right? So they do experimentation, so parents need to be aware. Parents need to monitor their children. They need to stay close to them. They need to find out who their friends are, find out what's happening at school, talk to teachers. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and it really does, because children live in communities and they see what's happening within our communities. They see that some persons, mommy and daddy may be saying, oh, don't use substances, don't do this, don't do that, but right at their doorstep on the block, they're seeing persons smoking, they're seeing persons using alcohol, they're seeing all types of things. So there's this conflict, right? And they may be swayed to use substances because there is a perception that it is not harmful, right? They see people using,
especially vaping.
Yes, vaping is a very popular one now. Vaping, for those persons who don't know, is using an electronic device to inhale nicotine, and in some instances to inhale weed. And persons think that vaping is less harmful because you are not using the old-time traditional cigarettes, which we did such a fantastic job about telling persons about the harms associated with cigarettes that persons now calling cancer states. So children will tell you now, oh, I don't want to smoke, because right away smoking is linked to cancer. But then they introduce these electronic devices, and you know children love devices, right? This is a new device, and it now delivers nicotine in a more attractive way, or with an attractive way. It's not, it is flavorful. They come in various flavors. You can have blueberry, strawberry, popcorn, whatever flavor whatever flavor you think. So, and then because the nose and the mouth are easily interconnected, it tastes good. So they feel now that, okay, this is not harmful, but it is harmful because you are inhaling the same addictive nicotine.
I sat here and I listened to you and I kept thinking, you're asking parents today to now listen with their eyes and their ears and their nose. But sometimes the nose can deceive you.
Yes.
Because it's in some way masked with these flavors. So I will never know.
Correct.
But I can tell you that even at the polyclinics where we have a program, we work with pregnant ladies and their spouses and immediate family members. And from this early stage of development, we introduce education to help mothers, in particular parents, understand these newer substances that are out there and that are on the market and that are harmful. So even from that very early developmental stage of life, it is important to understand the harms associated with some of these substances, and vaping is one of them. And many people don't know, even parents of teens, because they're masked in forms that come like, they look like flash drives. They come in pens, vape pens, and so forth. So it's important for parents to understand that continuous education is also your responsibility. And certainly at NCSA, you can reach out to us at any point in time on Instagram, on our website. Call us and, you know, get more information. We can come to you, and you need to continue to have that relationship and that talk with especially your teens.
It's getting tougher and tougher. It's getting even tougher and tougher. So I know parenting is not as easy as it was in my generation, not yours or not yours, but for sure. And so therefore, parents need to be so much more aware.
Yes.
And so the classes and the opportunity to know more, the hotline is open.
Yes.
Basically, the hotline is open. Just reach out to the NCSA, and you and your officers will be able to come and sit with us and help us manage situations as they occur, or at least put us to the agencies that can help there where that's concerned.
And we have an online program.
You do?
Yes, we do. We have parenting online sessions, Prevention First, which is a continuation of our residential camp, Project Soft, and that is about safeguarding our future today. And that continues online with parents. There's also a substance abuse badge that is done online. And kudos to our colleagues who continue to bolster that program. And it's not just in terms of the uniform groups, but the parents and the caregivers as well are educated.
We tend to think, sorry.
We also have counselors.
Counselors as well who work with us.
Yes, we have trained counselors. And if you suspect your child or your ward has an issue with substance abuse, you can come to the NCSA, and we also provide counseling free of cost as well.
The child who is high functioning, because even children can be high functioning and look normal as ever, but all the while battling with addiction, and we just didn't know, as it would be for the adult. Let's talk a little bit about some of that.
Yes.
Are you seeing a lot of that today, where children are presenting all right, but because of their work, then you realize, you know, something is amiss?
Well, going back to the signs and symptoms, so parents, like any other relationship, it's not built yesterday. It takes time to develop. And I'd like to think that you also have and continue to have that relationship with your children, that understanding of their behaviors. So the high functioning child, and this is something I can relate to very well, does not always appear to have an issue, but you can see when there are changes also in behavior. It may show up in their performance at school, sometimes not, but definitely look at those relationships they have with their peers. That is a very important point of reference, I always like to say to other moms and dads, to look at how are they interacting with their peers. That tells you a lot. And especially throughout the adolescent period, the peer group is the most important in terms of that child's social development. They look to their peers for cues, and so even despite what they may be taught or what are the rules at home. So if you look to those relationships with your children and you also engage with other parents, you will find that sometimes it may not be visible readily, but you can see changes in behavior and in their relationships and interactions, and that could definitely clue you in. So again, it's important. I know everybody doesn't like to attend PTA meetings and so, but it's important to continue to have that relationship with the school and the other institutions that your children are involved with. Because sometimes it's the security officer who knows first what's going on. It's the custodian, not the person who you would think is tuned in. But those other caregivers are equally important in the process.
And we'll talk about those other caregivers and the school environment when we come right back after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documents.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
29 after 7, we're continuing to strengthen prevention, looking at the work of the NCSA and looking at how we can build and foster closer relationship with our loved ones. But we also need to look at ourselves. We need to look at the environments in which we place our loved ones. And sometimes we just drop them off to school and assume all is well. Paula Atkinson is with me, as well as Jennifer Baptiste. And so they're both substance abuse prevention officers. Jennifer, I want to look at schools for just a moment and the environment there. As Paula said before we went to break, all of the actors at school have a role to play.
Yes, they do.
What are we seeing though at schools?
Yes, they do, Pearson. And we have, at the NCSA, we have launched the Drugs and Life Skills Program. So the Drugs and Life Skills Program is a program used to educate persons, secondary school students between the ages of 13 and 15 years old, and the program is facilitated at public and private secondary schools. And part of the program is to provide drug education and the harms associated with using drugs, whether those drugs are legal or illegal. But we not only talk about drugs, because as we said, Pearson just now, yes, we talk about drugs, but when they get back in their communities, when they get back in their homes, they're saying something else, so there's a conflict. So what we also do is provide life skills. So life skills are skills that persons need to manage their lives. And as adolescents, as Paulette said, they're now navigating life, they're now becoming independent. So we are not born with certain skills, so they need to be taught them. And sometimes parents, they were not taught particular skills, and they had to learn as well. So what we do is that we do like skills such as refusal skills, decision-making skills, communication, and anger management. There's a lot of anger within homes, there's a lot of aggression, and then sometimes using certain substances, it also magnify that aggression. You see a lot of conflict at schools, sometimes a lot of fighting, and there's a lot of misinformation. Persons are of the view that using certain substances, isn't harmful. They see it being used in the community, persons go to work, they go to school, and they see the adults functioning. So in their mind, oh, this thing cannot be harmful. What are these officers at the NCSA saying? This is not what I'm saying in my home, this is not what I'm saying in my community. So we provide life skills so that the students can navigate when they come into drug using situations, they know how to make the right decisions. So we work with the guidance counselors, we work with parents within the schools, and we're also buttressing our drug education. We have started to install benches within the school with positive behavioral messages, correct. And we have launched this program last year with Antilles Outdoor, the Adopt a Stop. So far we have the first phase. We saw benches being installed at St. Leonard's School, Lester Vaughan, CP, Princess Margaret Secondary School. And we're about to do the second launch in some other schools to, help buttress our drug education message. And in conjunction now, we have the first Prevention First Club, where the parents also get the message as well. So we're targeting parents, we're targeting students. We also go in communities, as Paulette said.
We're going to target all the players in the community as well. But I'm glad you mentioned that there's specific targets for the parents, because as I was listening, I kept remembering the Rock and Hard Place documentary, and everyone almost went back to that relationship with the parent.
Yes.
And the parent needs to be able to sit with the child, in my estimation, or to at least understand less dispassionately what the child is going through, so that the parent can help the child. Let's talk about the structure of that particular program for the parent.
Well, certainly with parents, we're dealing with adults who themselves were young people, some not so long ago and some more recently. And therefore, we bring a lot of cultural elements into our parenting programs to ensure that we are working from a position of relevance. And the parenting programs, as was mentioned, they buttress, the parents are exposed to the same education, but in an adult forum. And they also gain skills in terms of parenting skills. So we have an integrated approach. We work with Parados and other parent-based educators to also reinforce what are some of those skills that are needed as parents. Because, it doesn't come with a handbook. What are some of those newer areas of drugs that are coming into play, and how do we deal with those? So our counselors are also very much engaged in the process. And parents, we reach out to you. You can reach out to us at any point in time and recognize that you are not alone. No child is immune to the issues, and whilst it may not be happening in your household, every day they go to school, they are exposed to 30 or 29 other households. And again, especially during adolescence, it is important for you to understand that there's a shift from you know, you being the most important person in that teenage person's life to, you know, being accepted and being part of a group. So it's important for parents to understand that it's an ongoing process and we're here to help. And where there are issues that we may not be aware of, again, as Jennifer mentioned, we work holistically. So it's an integrated approach. It's a holistic approach. So we bring the players on board who are best able to assist us in educating and providing those skills to you, parents.
One of those players I like on your program of activities for the month is the church, faith-based organizations.
That's
Talk
right.
a little bit about that and those workshops that are coming up.
Well, it's very exciting. Actually, between the 14th and 16th of January, Barbados is hosting a pilot program. The first for not only Barbados, but the English-speaking Caribbean. And it's a Christian-based approach to prevention, drug prevention. And it was first piloted in the Americas and with primarily Christian-based groups. And likewise, we will be undertaking such a pilot project here. It's important because we're reclaiming our spirituality. Barbados has always been part of our communities have always been part of the church. The church has always been embedded in the lifeblood of our world here in Barbados. So again, in a newer age, how does the church maintain its relevance? And this is what we're going to be doing. So we're working with counterparts from the Organization of American States, and they will be coming to Barbados and working with us to engage Christian groups in the first instance. This is the position from which we will start, and from the pilot then we will engage other denominations to see how best we can all work together to continue to prevent the scourge of drugs.
I think this is such an exciting journey. Honestly, it's this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
That's right.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. Where and when and how can we, if anybody's watching who wants to be a part of it?
Well, at this point, as I mentioned, it's a pilot program. So it's more contained at this point. We will be engaging, as I said, in the first instance, a cross-section of Christian-based denominations. And from there, we will embrace the wider faith-based community. But we really want to hear directly from those stalwarts to understand how can we work together? How can we merge the techniques of faith together with those of prevention science to really address this issue and prevent it? We're at the heart of the community, in the homes and, you know, in the community. So we're very excited to be part of this process.
In other words, folks, wait. Your turn will come. This is just the pilot phase indeed. Can't wait to hear the results of it, honestly, because I'm excited about it myself. What else is coming up, Jennifer, though, on the calendar of activities that you might want to share with us today?
Okay, we have the early warning system workshop. And as Paulavette mentioned earlier, this is a workshop where we have a number of key stakeholders come and they discuss the new emerging drugs on our that we're seeing on the landscape. And when we talk about, so we refer to them as NPS. Now, NPS, for those who know, are new psychoactive substances, and these are drugs that mimic, they're synthetic drugs that mimic the effects of drugs like cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, and cocaine. So they come in powder form or pill form. So they're called legal highs because persons use different substances to make these NPS drugs. They are not actually illegal, but they mimic the illegal ones. So this is a workshop. They have key stakeholders, and we use the information now to educate each other and to disseminate information. There were 2 alerts last year. There was methamphetamine that was found on the island. The Forensic Sciences Center is part of the committee, and we had also a case with synthetic cannabinoids.
I remember when you guys alarmed us with that information,
Yes.
but it's important information to know.
Yes.
So those are coming up. How was the hike? There was a hike. I know you're working with the Verdun and Marina Housing.
Yes, and that's so important to recall our partners in treatment. The Substance Abuse Foundation, which comprises Verdun House for males and Marina House for females, they're readily on board again with us this year. And there was a hike because exercise is so critical to general health. And that would have been this past weekend, and a number of our personnel would have joined with the staff there and persons in recovery on that very exciting bat hike. And as Jennifer was saying earlier, with the early warning system, it's all about prevention. And this is a committee that comprises both health, treatment providers included, law enforcement, and other stakeholders, because it's all about ensuring that when trends emerge, that we can get wind of them and do further evidence-based investigations to really understand what is happening. But it's all about keeping the public safe and giving you accurate and up-to-date information so that you too can safeguard yourselves and your households.
Well said, well put. Listen, this is a journey. We're prepared to take the journey with you, but I have to wrap at this particular point in time. But again, fantastic work being done by the NCSA, the National Council on Substance Abuse. Strengthening prevention is the theme. And if you inculcate that into yourself as of today, you'll see your role immediately. We all have a responsibility to work hand in hand and together to strengthen prevention. Prevention, as we know the old adage, is always better than cure anyway. So let's see how we can do one by one, bit by bit, moment by moment, person by person. And because we live as a community, don't think the other person is someone else's responsibility. It is also ours. And if we can all work together to strengthen prevention, we create a fabric of people who are all good and safe, and we can all sleep better at night indeed. No one wants to lose their loved one to drug abuse or drug prevention, because it takes a little while to rehabilitate, and then we know the other scourge, which is a lack of forgiveness by our people in society. So we want to avoid where that is happening and have better outcomes by our active participation in the work of the NCSA. Again, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Paulette Atkinson and Jennifer Baptiste, she wants me to call it that way, who are both drug substance abuse prevention officers with the National Council on Substance Abuse this Drug Awareness Month. Morning Barbados is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, authored, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 14 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to a serious subject that involves someone we know very well. And I mean someone that we Barbados know very well. Here at Morning Barbados, we know her equally well because she's been so good to us. She's been so good to the world because she's given birth to a little gem, a gem we call AJ. The little young Calypsonian, we know him. He had the chance to meet another gem of the world, Machel Montano, and his mother has been there step and step and step with him. And now she needs us to help her step up and sit up. And all that else is happening indeed. So there's an appeal out where we ask all of you to pull from your compassion to help Akira Carter get better. And her friend Nicolette Regis is with us this morning. Nicolette, good morning to you.
Good morning, person.
I know this is tough for you as it's tough for all of us indeed, but tell us what's happening.
So let's just go back to the beginning. So everybody in Barbados is quite aware of everything that's going on. On the 27th of December, Akira woke up with a migraine and some chills. She thought it was just the weather outside affecting her joints and any migraine. So she went to sleep to try to sleep off this migraine. And then she was woken from her sleep with pins and needles in her hands and feet. She went to the doctor on Sunday. They couldn't specifically say that anything was wrong, so they sent her back home to watch it. Wednesday, she went back to the doctor because she lost all mobility and sensation in her legs. At this juncture, she was sent directly to QEH, was on A&E from the Wednesday, which is Old Year's Day, to New Year's Day. She was finally admitted to ward the night of New Year's Day, and that's where she's been since. She's had CT scans, x-rays, a whole set of blood work, spinal taps, the works, and unfortunately the doctors have not been able to give her an exact diagnosis. At this point, she has very little motor mobility in her hands. Her shoulders don't move, legs don't move, so the motor, reflex, any sensitivity at this juncture is gone. Something else that has come up is that her vision is started to get blurry. So yeah, we sent her information to 4 different hospitals overseas, and they are all suspecting a neurological deficit that we are hoping to get this MRI done tomorrow, because 2 weeks without the MRI and really having a set diagnosis is really going to set back any recovery that she's going to have. So the GoFundMe and the bank deposit information that we have set up, at this point, she's been accepted into an institution in Cuba, but the hospital is not going to let her go until she gets an air ambulance. So the funds are towards the air ambulance, treatment, and extensive therapy that's going to be needed, because as you can imagine, not having sensitivity and motor in your arms and your legs, the nerve damage is going to be quite extensive. And at this point, we're looking at a year to 5 years of rehab to even get back to the person that she was. And this is not even to be the person that was working out 3-4 times a week. It's just to do normal everyday things. So we're really trying to get the support of the public, thank you, to really make this happen.
Yeah, this is tough on all of us, I know Akira's father, late father, and it feels as if everything is just happening so quickly, also suddenly. We all know AJ, and can you imagine having gone through Christmas Day, and just a couple days after Christmas, your body begins a process of shutting down. And that's the state in which you've been living for a little while. This is a woman who would have been up and everywhere with her son, because her son means so much to her. She knows, and you know her too. I can just see her right here, just away from us when AJ is with us. And she's right there filming and watching and encouraging AJ every time he's on Morning Barbados with us. Big, big support indeed. And so look at the bottom of your screen, everyone. Look at the bottom of your screen. You see all of the banking details that you require to make a difference, to helping uplift Akira Carter, AJ's mummy. Akira Carter, a woman of Barbadian society. Akira Carter, a daughter, mother, sister, human being who is just waiting for your help. So as much as possible, we want you to dig and dig deeply, because the amount that is needed is vast, is significant. How much was it again?
Right now, the target is 120K US. Because as you can imagine,
$250,000 Barbados dollars. Look at your
the
screen,
air
folks.
ambulance, yeah, the air ambulance is quite a bit. And anybody that has had any injury in life, PT is not cheap. And she will need extensive PT to get back to herself.
443 of you have made a donation so far.
And we appreciate each and every one of you.
And but we would want to not just double, but triple and quadruple that number of donations and the amount of donations. So to all of you who have already given, big thanks. Big, big, big thanks indeed. But there's more. You can see the target, 120,000 US dollars. That's Barbados or US dollars?
That's US dollars.
$250,000 Barbados dollars. And so far we've only touched, barely scratched the surface. We can give more. I believe we can give more, because there, but for the grace of God, go I. You would want the help, and I'm sure that you understand the need for help at this moment in time and why you should give, because you would also want for others to give for you. But that's a woman with a purpose, a woman with a passion, a woman with a reason for being, and she's fighting hard, and she wants us to help her join in the fight. Her family and friends also want us to help as well. So note the bottom of your screen. Take a look at the bottom of your screens. You can first pay, you can direct deposit into CIBC. Any of their branches, their checking account information is right there on your screen. You can make a donation against Vice First, or you can go onto the GoFundMe page and make your donation. I would gladly say yes, any amount is significant, but every amount is what we want.
Yes.
And so I want to perhaps use this opportunity to take some time with children. You know AJ. You know AJ, the little Calypsonian. And you are a friend of AJ. You may not have enough, in your opinion, as pocket money, but that is enough. As much as possible, get your parent, guardian, an adult to make that deposit on your behalf. Bombard your parent. Bombard your teacher. Let them too join the cause to help Akira Carter get better. It's going to take a little while for her to become fully functional again in the way that we love her to be. And so let's begin the process today to do so. That treatment that is necessary now needs our attention now. And so right now we can make a donation. We can make a donation. We can make a donation. I'd like to see, while we're here talking about this, if those numbers tick up and tick up hard. We've only covered 21% of our overall cost. This would be fantastic. So for those of you abroad, because sometimes it's difficult for you to be able to do so locally, the GoFundMe is where you can go. All of you who are watching, I know many, many, many of you watch from all over the world. Feel this in your heart. Feel this in your purse and pocket. Let's make that smile return to the face of Akira Carter, who I believe is watching us right now. And just wishing she could be here herself, but it must be difficult for her to just be able to watch us and not do a thing about it. And heaven forbid that the vision goes. I know that you mentioned that the whole system is shutting down from the foot up. And that is scary.
Yeah. What is helping all of us make it through this is anybody that knows Akira knows her personality. Yes. Thank God she still has that bubbly personality, right? If you go to visit her, she's going to make jokes with you. She's going to laugh. She's going to fret about something that's going on. So she still has that drive. She is fighting against this. She is fighting as hard as she can. But we really need to raise the funds for the treatment and the air ambulance so we can get her all of the treatment that she needs to treat, to get a full diagnosis, to treat the diagnosis, and to see if we can reverse any of the nerve damage or make anything that's there stronger.
We can do this together, indeed. Akira Carter is her name. GoFundMe campaign is one that's designed already for you to be able, wherever you are, whenever you are, in whatever amounts you can to make a donation. The other information local is right there on your screen as well. You might want to be able to say to your bank today, bank, help me quickly. I want to quickly run into... The banks will open at 8 o'clock this morning. Be among those in the line to be in the bank this morning. First thing, before you do anything else. This is to help Akira Carter seek advanced medical care abroad. The doctors overseas are waiting to begin their process of helping her. We want to start the process of helping her by providing her with enough funds to be able to go off to Cuba to begin the diagnosis and the treatment as well. It's going to take a little while, but together we can hold Akira's hands. We can hold AJ's hands. She is AJ's mummy. And if you love AJ, then you have to love Akira, because Akira has given him to us. And so let's give back to Akira today. Folks, it's not too much to ask. I don't think it's too much to ask. So let's all today begin the process of not just thinking about it, but doing something about it for Akira Carter. It's AJ's mummy. It's AJ's mummy. I know AJ would love to be able to sing a happy song for us at Crop Over this year. And how is he doing, by the way?
AJ is doing the best he can. He also knows, regardless of what's happening, he needs to go to school and do his work. So AJ, if you're watching, go to school.
And do your work.
Go to school and do your work. You know that's exactly what your mother would want.
Or your teacher would say, come to the front of the class and just sit down, which was my song from last year, indeed. And so the same smile that Nicolette has, the same passion for joy that Akira has, we want to be able to bring those smiles and that passion back. Indeed. So folks, please, we encourage you. Morning Barbados joins in encouraging you, like the family and friends of Akira Carter, to make your generous donation. Generous donation as soon as possible. We want to be able to get her into Cuba. The longer we wait, the
harder it is to come back.
So come on, folks. We can do this. And together we say thank you.
Thank
Nicolette, thank you as well. Please send our blessings. Give her a big hug and a kiss from all of us at Morning Barbados. We so appreciate Akira. And stay strong for AJ.
Of course.
He's going to need this.
He has his village. He has his community.
All right. Morning Barbados comes right back in a moment.
So stop the violence and put down the guns. Stop destroy the country and have some fun. Born this way, I was born this way. Getting in my blood and I was born this way. When the top band play, I just up my waist. Mother Sally stars, I got to hold my heart. I just rode that horse when the last ship sailed. When the soccer played, I just jumped and whipped.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oistins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Before we go, just remember, take good care of your skin, but most of all, take great care of each other. Life is brief and it's short. There's a lot we can all do to ensure the best life each of us can have together, but we just have to start with compassion. That's it for today. My little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a great today. By the will of the Lord, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.